Coming up on the San Francisco 49ers Report, my name is Chase Sr. The 49ers make another roster move. This move that the Niners made this offseason looks better by the day. What this new defensive end for San Francisco brings to this team, and Colton McKivitz makes a bold prediction going into the final year of his contract. Let's get into it here, and let's begin with topic number one, as the 49ers have renegotiated Spencer Burford's contract. And I know that a lot of people don't put Burford in the best light, right? Because in Super Bowl 58, he left Chris Jones unblocked, and he was able to get to Brock Purdy for that critical pressure, forcing a throwaway for Purdy, critical juncture of that football game. And that was just one of the mistakes that San Francisco made in that ball game against Kansas City, which resulted in that loss. But Burford has been a pretty valuable player for the Niners. He started some games. He served as a backup along this offensive line. And you can tell that San Francisco is still a believer in the player who they drafted a few years ago. And they think that he can be a solid offensive lineman at the NFL level. So the Niners have renegotiated his contract. And here are the details on that new deal for Burford. According to Spotrac, Burford has a 2025 PPE, that stands for Proven Performance Escalator clause, in his deal. It's the first tier, which means if Burford triggers the clause, his base salary escalates in his fourth year and the amount of the original draft round RFA tender, if applicable. Per over the cap, Burford needs to play at least 35% of the offensive snaps over his first 3 years. Despite only playing in 12% of the snaps in 2024, Burford starting 13 games in 2023 and 16 games as a rookie helped him easily trigger the bonus with 60% of the snaps during his first 3 years. That means Burford earned $500,000. It's a nice little bonus there. And Burford's original signing bonus was set to be $168,000+. That figure is now $668,000. Burford's previous base salary was $3.4 million. That number was shaved to $1.265 million. He also saw his cap number lowered for 2025. It was previously $3.57, and that figure is now $2.91 million. So kind of a financially savvy move here for San Francisco. And obviously, because of how much Burford played, there were the escalators in that contract. San Francisco took him in the 2022 NFL Draft in the 4th round, pick number 134 out of UTSA. He's had some good moments. He's had some bad moments. Of course, the bad moment was leaving Chris Jones unblocked. The Niners also this offseason and in training camp are trying a new position for Burford. When he was in college, he played a little bit of guard. He played a little bit of offensive tackle. When the Niners drafted him, they solely listed him as an offensive guard. But going into this offseason, they made a switch. They're moving him back to tackle in hopes that he can basically fulfill that Jaylon Moore role and maybe be a backup tackle behind Trent Williams. That has been his role so far in training camp. Topic number two. The Bryce Huff trade looks better by the day for the San Francisco 49ers. You think about the value of Huff as a player and what the Niners gave up and the potential that he has, of course. The 49ers gave up a 5th-round pick, which can become a 4th for Bryce Huff. If he plays well, the compensation in that trade is great for San Francisco. His cap hit is only $7.9 million. I think that Huff in 2025 can have 8 to 10 sacks. And so if he has 8 to 10 sacks with that sack production at that cap hit, that's also a pretty good bargain. And I just think that the speed component to his game is a great complement to the other personnel and players along that defensive line. You bring in a speed demon off the edge, opposite of Nick Bosa, who's a different type of player, and then Bryce Huff plays alongside Mykel Williams, C.J. West, Alfred Collins. And what he brings to the field, the quick get-off, the good bend, him being a pass rush specialist, it complements the other players on that Niners defense, in particular along that Niners defensive line. Huff throughout training camp up to this point has been very consistent in winning his one-on-ones, and you've seen the speed, the explosiveness, the twitch, the bend on display, but he also has been showing off his patented spin move as well. And then you think about his history too, right? Huff flourished under new Niners defensive coordinator Robert Saleh as Saleh makes his reunion with San Francisco, but obviously he was the head coach for the New York Jets. Bryce Huff was a UDFA out of Memphis, signed by the Jets. He progressed. He got better. And then in 2023, he had 67 pressures, 10 sacks, and was one of the most productive pass rushers in the National Football League. So Saleh's familiarity with the player, I think, leads to Huff being a good producer for this Niners defense this year as well. There's also something to be said for the scheme fit that he is. The Eagles gave him $34 million in guaranteed money. The Eagles are arguably the most well-run organization in the game. They paid him for a reason. They thought that he was a good player. But Vic Fangio, their defensive coordinator, runs a 3-4. And so they tried to use Huff as a stand-up pass rusher. He's not that guy. In a wide 9, hand in the dirt, that's when he's at his best. That's what he'll be doing for San Francisco. Saleh also has experience with using him at right defensive end and left defensive end, whereas Vic Fangio is primarily using Huff on the left side of the defense. I also think the Niners are getting a motivated player here who is eager to prove that he can play. He was a healthy scratch in the Super Bowl. He saw the Eagles go out there and take down the Kansas City Chiefs, hoist that Lombardi trophy, and he wasn't a part of it. Toward the end of the year, he was a non-factor for that Eagles defense, and he was the forgotten about man after signing that huge contract with Philadelphia. Now he comes to San Francisco, and he's like, I basically got fired. I got cast away, and I think he's revitalized and re-energized to a certain degree. The 49ers have really missed having a pass rusher like this, who brings that speed component to the defensive line a la a D4 type of player. And I also think his presence allows the Niners to move Mykel Williams inside. And when Robert Saleh has experimented with that throughout training camp, it has done wonders. Mykel Williams has stood up over guards. He's also had his hand in the dirt over guards. He's been able to win a lot of his one-on-ones. He's been active in team drills. He's made disruptive plays. There was a play, too, where he truck-sticked Dominic Puni, one of the top guards in all of football, because he was inside. He's dropped back into coverage. He's played defensive end. And so when you add a player like Huff, it allows you to use Mykel Williams as a little bit of a chess piece, which I think can benefit him as a player too. Here's a look at a video clip that the Niners put out on social media that displays and shows you how quick Huff is. You see the quick feet, you see the explosiveness, you see the pursuit, and you see some of the speed. And I think that's going to result in a player who is going to be productive this year, and he's going to be productive at a very affordable price as far as the salary cap and what the Niners had to give up for him. A quick reminder to hit that subscribe button here on the San Francisco 49ers Report for daily Niners shows. Lock us in, join the movement today, and let's go. Still to come here on the show, what this new Niners defensive end brings to this defense. We have some more video to show you. And Colton McKivitz makes a very bold prediction. It's all coming up your way. But I got to tell you about our sponsor for today's show. That is our friends at Ridge. This Ridge wallet has been a game changer for me. I hate having too much in my pockets. I hate having bulky pockets, especially during the summertime when I'm wearing a lot of shorts. You can fit up to 12 cards inside the Ridge wallet, and look how practical it is. It's also going to last forever. This is the final wallet and the last wallet you will ever have to purchase. It's made with premium materials like aluminum, titanium, and carbon fiber. There's this Niners look, but also over 50-plus colors and styles to choose from. All Ridge products have a lifetime warranty. This is literally the last wallet you'll ever have to buy. And it's unique, slim. It also has a modern design. It can hold up to 12 cards each. Also, losing your wallet sucks, right? But with the Ridge AirTag attachment, you'll always know exactly where it is before panic mode kicks in. Ridge isn't just about wallets, by the way. They create premium everyday carry essentials like key cases like we've been showing you, suitcases and rings, all built with the same sleek, durable design. And no matter what you pick, Ridge has free shipping, a 99-day risk-free trial, and a lifetime warranty on all of their products. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off at Ridge when you use the code CHAT. Use that code CHAT at checkout, and you're all set. After you make your purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show. Tell them that the 49ers Report sent you. That is code CHAT for 10% off your entire order. So many colors and designs to choose from. This will make your life better. It has certainly made mine a lot better as well. So on Tuesday's show, we talked about the Niners' most recent signing, defensive end Jaylon Allen. He was a UDFA out of Memphis. He was with the Denver Broncos throughout training camp. He got waived with an injury designation, and then he played for Memphis in the UFL, ended up playing some pretty good football at the UFL level, had over 20 pressures, and he is in the build of a Bryce Huff type of player. Smaller, but fast and explosive. And I know the Niners have put an emphasis on adding bigger defensive linemen this offseason and getting bigger in the trenches, but there is value with the speed rusher. D-Line Vids on X, a consistent viewer of this program, sent this to me on Twitter, and this is a look at what he brings to the table. You see the quick feet, you see some of the explosiveness, you see the spin move. Bryce Huff overlapped with him at Memphis. And so with Taron Jackson having to be taken to the hospital the other day, the Niners put him on IR. And so they had to make a roster move at the defensive end spot, which is why they made this move. And yesterday, Bryce Huff even said he had a really good practice. We round out with this. Colton McKivitz making a bold prediction going into the final year of his deal. What is it? Well, here you go. The direct quote to Matt Mayoko of NBC Sports Bay Area. He said, "I'm going to be a Pro Bowler this year." I've told countless people. I'm just putting it out there just because that's going to hold me accountable and get me to where I want to go. If you don't fight for it, you won't get it. I love the confidence. I just don't know if it's realistic. I do have to give McKivitz a lot of credit. He improved year over year from 2023 to 2024, and he was a starting caliber offensive tackle last year. When he goes up against the elite players, he definitely struggles a bit, but he definitely got better from 2 years ago to last year. Overall PFF grade of 72.2, that ranked 37th among 141 offensive tackles in the game. Pass blocking grade, also in the green, 72.8, that ranked 43rd. A run blocking grade of 68.6, 46th. He improved as far as giving up sacks, only surrendered 2 last year. Still wasn't great with pressures, though. He gave up 36 pressures. Sometimes that can be a scheme problem for Kyle Shanahan and the Niners, but that did rank 124th among 141 offensive tackles. If the Niners do get Pro Bowl level play from Colton McKivitz, that'll help out this offense a lot. And this is a player who was cut a couple of years ago and has steadily improved. Could he get better? There's room for him to improve. I will say this, though. If he does make a Pro Bowl, he'll get paid. The going rate for offensive tackles is becoming a lot more expensive. And so if McKivitz goes out there, he plays well, and is named a Pro Bowler, I think the price tag starts at about $15 million. He could get a very similar contract to what Mike McGlinchey got from the Denver Broncos a couple of off seasons ago. And for Denver, hasn't really worked out because McGlinchey is just a so-so mid-average player. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button here. Thank you as always for watching the program. I'll be back later with another video. Be on the lookout for that.